Yo, what's up everybody? This is Christo and welcome to another episode of Toy Punks. Today we've got episode number 20. That's right, we finally got to the big 2-0 and we're going to be unboxing and reviewing Playmates' brand new toys, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Monsters and Mutants set. We got all 4 monsters lined up for you, so we're going to take a look at all those and unbox them so you guys can see it and enjoy it. I'm going to go ahead and apologize real quick for the noise. I'm actually recording this while I'm driving. Wouldn't you know it, my great uncle, didn't even know I had a great uncle, he left me this giant mansion in his estate, and it's all mine, under one condition, that I stay there for the night, tonight. I don't know why it's gotta be tonight. I mean, it's a weird thing, but hey man, sleep in a house for a night and now I own it, sweet. I can flip that, make some sweet cash. Anyway, as far as music goes, I know usually we try and make our music match what we're unboxing. Today we're going to do things a little bit differently because one of my favorite bands, the Lillingtons, just released their first album in over 10 years. Stella, Sapiente. The Lillingtons have just released this on October 13th. Just came out brand new on Friday, October 13th, 2017. They haven't released an album since 2006. So I'm super stoked to have this. And because I'm so excited that they just came out with a new CD, that's actually what we're going to be using as the music for these guys. So go ahead and sit back. I got a long drive, but kick back, enjoy this video, and we'll see you at the end. Toy Punks, oi!
Alright guys, so here they are, the Monsters and Mutants. We've got Vampire Raph, we've got Frank and Don, Werewolf Mikey, and Mutant Mummy Leo. These guys all have the same kind of classic card as the other ones. We've got the tails of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles up here. Just take this guy so we can take a quick look. Like I said, they're all the same, so we'll just show you one real quick. It's got the Monsters and Mutants logo down here. Each one obviously has their individual name. You got the Turtles in costume up here, which was a nice touch. I'm glad they did that. You got Leo in his package here, this mummy. We're going to check him out later, but on the back, it's got the Monsters and Mutants again up top, and then on the back you can see each figure individually, so you can take a look. They also have the Monster Hunters, Monster Hunter Raph, and Monster Hunter Leo. I have Raph, but I don't have Leo, so I didn't want to bring those guys in. We'll just focus on the monsters for now. Once I find Leo, then maybe we'll do a follow-up video and we'll bring in Raph and Leo and check those guys out too. And yeah, so there's all this info up here, basically on the current storyline that's going to be the Monsters and Mutants storyline that is airing currently, October 2017. These guys are brand new, they just came out. If you want to check that out, take a pause real quick. I'm not going to read it, but that's it. I mean, it's a standard Ninja Turtle card. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to unbox them each individually. I'm going to do Raph, and then we'll go from there, probably do Mikey after that, but one at a time here. So let's get these guys out of the way, and I'll go ahead and unbox Raph. Toy Punks, oi! Alright, so let's take a quick look at Raph here. He's out of the package. Take a good look at him. It looks pretty cool. He's wearing the tuxedo here to look like Dracula. He's got fangs. If you take a look at his sculpt here, they did sculpt in fangs, which is nice. He's got the hair like Dracula sculpted on his head. Pointy ears, which is different. You know, obviously the turtles don't have ears. It's interesting that they used cloth cape for him, which is kind of nice. They have not, to my knowledge, used any cloth goods on any of these, the current 2012 line figures. This is the first one that they've used any kind of cloth cape or anything. All the shredders have the plastic cape and stuff, I believe. As far as his weapons go, this guy did fall off, but he comes with this accessory here. Is kind of cool. It's a little bat that can clip onto his arm, but if you look closely at his face here, it's a little turtle bat. I'm trying to get it to focus for you, but there. Yeah, it's a little turtle head on the bat, which is kind of cool because, you know, Dracula can turn into a bat, so that's kind of the gimmick that they went with there. He's got a sai here, which is, they did it a little different than the regular ones. It looks a little bit kind of old, like almost like these are 3 little stakes instead of an actual metal sai. And then he also came with a stake in his hand. Here, look, it's a standard Ninja Turtle weapons. It looks like they may have reused the original legs from the original Series 1 Ninja Turtles and then just painted them. As far as other than that, this looks like it's a new sculpt here. This is hard plastic, unlike the softer rubber that they used for the legs. The arms look like they may have been resculpted here, and then obviously they sculpted this chain around that holds the cape on, and it just holds on with these elastic straps. I'm wondering if you can even take this off. I'm not going to do it because I don't want to mess him up, but there he is. He looks pretty good. I'm a big fan of these horror turtles. We're going to take a look now. If you notice in the background, I've got the original Series 1 Universal monsters. So I was curious how they looked, side by side. First, we're going to take a look, obviously. As far as Raph goes, they went with a completely different character. They went with Leo for the Mummy this year. Instead, they gave Raph the vampire look. So they're clearly different. But let's take a look at the Donnie, because he was Dracula in the old one, and I want to see how they did side by side. So I mean, obviously they're clearly a different style figure. Back in the 90s they did different figures. They looked way different. The style of toys were different, but I personally like the old ones. I think that they look better. They did a decent job with with the new Raph, with the new series. I'm glad that they at least did the monster series. I don't believe that the new ones are actually universal licensed like the 90s ones were, but it's pretty cool. I mean, one improvement is they did use the cloth cape, as to this one's got the rubber on it. It was a different time. They made figures different. As far as the sculpt goes, I mean, I always kind of liked the older sculpt. Obviously, this is just printed on, whereas the old one, this is all sculpted in. He's got his tie and the little thing with the D medallion. This looks a little bit more accurate to how Dracula would look. However, if they're not, if it's not universal licensed, then I could imagine they're going to go with more of a generic vampire style. He's got claws, which is cool. Like they had to obviously resculpt the entire hand. So there's a lot of resculpt here. I mean, it looks like they did reuse a couple parts. However, overall, I like it a lot. It looks pretty good. Let's move him out of the way, and we're going to go ahead and we'll do Mikey next and check him out. Let's get him open. Toy Punks. Alright, so here we go. We got Mikey here. This is Wolfman Mikey. Let's take a look at him. Him I like a lot. It looks like they actually had to do a new sculpt completely on everything on him. We'll take a look at that first. They sculpted in the hair here on his arms. It's green still because he's a turtle. However, you can see here they did add the sculpting and the detail of some fur on there, which is cool. His elbow pads look like they're made out of hair. He does still have here the back of his bandana. However, they painted it brown like the hair that they sculpted on as well. It looks really cool. He's got fangs sculpted in. He's got sculpted pointy ears. He looks pretty good. I like that they kind of went with a Teen Wolf kind of look instead of the classic, because I mean they're Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so it makes sense. If Mikey's going to be the werewolf, he's going to be a crazy, goofy werewolf, so he would be more of like a Teen Wolf, which is, that's a great movie. So if you haven't seen it, check it out. Teen Wolf's great. Check it out. As far as the paint goes, again, they painted some hair here on his chest. He's got brown hair on his knees, which, it doesn't quite match because of the fact that he's got the hair on his arms, but the hair is green on his arms. However, it's still pretty cool. They painted his nails. He's got black, sharp nails, black nails here. As far as his legs go, he's got thigh articulation and hip articulation rather, and knee articulation. He also has in one of his legs, he has the foot bend, so he can kind of stand in different ways. You could probably make him stand in like a kind of like some kind of Wolfman type stance. As far as his accessories go, He's got a slice of pizza because even though he's Wolfman, he still is Mikey and he still loves pizza, so he's got that. It actually looks a lot like the slice of pizza that comes with the NECA series, only less detailed. It's funny that this comes out a little bit after that one. And then he's got one set of nunchucks here, which is bone chucks, which is pretty cool. You know, I mean, obviously he's a wolf, he's gonna want to chew on his bone, so he's got 2 there to deal with. So yeah, I mean, he looks pretty cool. On the back, it says Wolfpack on his jacket, which is kind of cool. He's got a Letterman's jacket on. I wish they would have painted that in. You know, they did everything else. They did a real good job with the paint on these, and then they don't paint that on the back, so that's a little disappointing. But overall, he's a pretty cool figure. In the 1990 series, obviously, they went with Mikey as Frankenstein, which doesn't really match his character. Again, it looks like they kind of took a little thought into who should be who a little more this time around instead of just slapping it together, but I do still ultimately like the original series better. Let's take a look at the Wolfman, which was Wolfman Leo. But in comparison, they did the same thing here with the, you know, the sculpted on fur, which is nice. His face is smooth on here, however, his is all fur. It's all sculpted, you know. He's got the shirt that's all ripped up as opposed to Mikey going with the Teen Wolf, so he's got like more of the Letterman's jacket. But overall, you know, they did a good job with this. I like that they kept with the original 4 that they used in the 90s Series 1. It would be cool to see a Series 2 of these. However, I don't think we're going to see any more after the Bebop and Rocksteady Most Wanted series. I believe that's going to be it for these guys because the show's over. So there he goes. You know, you check him out. He looks pretty sweet. We'll move him aside, and I think I'll open up Frank and Don now. Let's take a look at him and see how he looks. So let's do it. Toy Punks. And there he is, Frank and Don. Take a look at this guy, man. I like him a lot. He looks pretty cool. You can just check him out. We'll just start with the sculpt again. It looks like they kind of did like a full-on resculpt on here. It doesn't look like they really retooled anything. You can take a look. There's a lot of fine details in the sculpts. Again, I'm impressed with the sculpts on these guys actually compared to the other series that they've done. Trying to get it focused. There we go. You can see like they put stitching on his arms here. He's got, you know, they're not painted, but still, it's a nice little detail. His elbow pads are completely resculpted. He's got little, you know, they look kind of like mechanical, like bolts and stuff. He's got these in his back, which is really cool. You know, I like that they made Donnie Frankenstein because, you know, you got the whole tech aspect of it. You know, that's how he is, you know, Donnie does machines, so it makes sense that it would be like scientific stuff would be Donnie. Again, like I said before, they thought about this a little bit more. They did they put a bolt in his head, on the top of his head, which I would have liked to see the neck bolts. Obviously, that's the classic, but I guess that's what they thought would go well with this figure, with Donnie. He looks more like Donnie than he does Frankenstein as far as the face goes, but still, I think it's really cool. He's got the sculpted on claws. You can see there. They added some different features, just a lot of cool little stuff, little details in here that they actually did paint as well. I like his boots because they're actually the extended boots here where he's like, you know, an extra few inches tall or whatever. It's really cool. It's ripped open here. They painted the toe in there. I like it a lot. I like this figure. He looks really nice. He's got the standard articulation that all the turtles have as far as the, you know, the rotating shoulders and then the elbows and the rotating wrists as well. But yeah, he looks nice. He looks really good. Like I said, they went with you know, they went with Frankenstein this time around. Last time back in the 90s, they made him Dracula. You know, completely different figure. Obviously, again, this one works a little bit better in my opinion. So we're gonna go ahead and take a look at the old Frankenstein here, which was Mikey. Yeah, it was Mikey, and again, the sculpting is a little bit different. This is more of a traditional looking Frankenstein. They made him look more like the Universal monster with the coat and everything. He's got the jacket on, he's got the pants, whereas he looks more like Donnie, only with you know, the added features of the Frankenstein effect with the different shoes and stuff. Overall, I still like them. Again, really cool. Really glad they made these. Alright, so here we go. We got Mutant Mummy Leo. Check him out, guys. He looks pretty cool. I actually saved him for last because I actually like him the least. So he was the least I was looking forward to opening. Mainly because if you take a look at this here now, this accessory here just slides right off. That's not the issue I have. He's pretty cool. Actually, it's a little snake. Golden snake. You can put it around his waist. It comes off. It's a nice little accessory. However, if you look at the sculpt here, the way that they did the arms don't quite match the sculpt of the body, because he should be wrapped all the way around, and I don't know, it just looks odd to me. It kind of it doesn't quite work right for me. I don't know, it looks weird. His arms look weird. Everything else I have no problem with. You can see they sculpted on the bandages here, all around here, around the back. He's got a little scarab here that's on his leg. His legs are sculpted all new. He's got they gave him long nails, which would make sense because he's a mummy. You know, he's dead. He's gonna have long, crazy nails. He also has the foot bend, the extra foot articulation that that the Wolfman Mikey has, which is kind of cool because then you can get him into different positions when you can mess with their feet a little bit more. As far as his head goes, again, he's got the bandages sculpted into his face. It looks nice. It's got like his bandana's a little bit rough. Comes around. It's a nice extra stretch. They're overall nice figures. You know, I like that they did a new sculpt. A lot of the the newer figures are retooled from the previous lines. So he looks pretty good overall, but he is my least favorite. He comes with a sword that kind of looks like it's from the Egyptian times. But overall, he's still pretty cool. They're all going to look really cool together. I just noticed actually on the bottom of this, it's kind of the handle is kind of like a snake head, which is kind of a cool little feature there as well. It's all painted one color, but it's still nice. In comparison to his counterpart, obviously completely different. They went with Wolfman Leo in the 90s version. New one is the Mummy. I suppose the Mummy works a little better again because he's a leader. Mummy, I mean, that was the Pharaoh. So in comparison with the 90s Mummy, however, it's not really a question that the older one, to me, is much better. The sculpting is very well done. You know, I mean, this has a little more detail as far as making it look like fabric. However, as a whole, he has a lot more bandaging on him. He's gotten like the rotten hand here and the rotten face and arm, which is nice. While still maintaining the turtle gimmick with the red belt and the red mask and everything. The additional feature on this is obviously that, if you know, he has glow-in-the-dark paint on them. Actually, all of the 90s Universal monsters all have some parts that glow in the dark. Like Donnie's eyes glow, his shirt glows, and then his fingernails and I believe like eyes and stuff glow as well. He glows the most because he's got the most white on him, so all of his bandages glow in the dark. It's really cool. These ones do not have any kind of glow-in-the-dark feature. Would have been cool if they had added that, you know, as kind of a throwback to the original series, but overall, they're still pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and slide this back on him, and then we're going to bring in all the other turtles. We'll take a quick look at the side-by-side of all of them as a unit, because they're all one series, and I'll be right back. Oi! Alright, so here we got all four of them side-by-side. You can take a look at them real quick. I just wanted you guys to see kind of the scale. You know, obviously Raph's a little shorter, Donnie's a little taller. You got Leo in the middle there, and then Mikey's the shortest one. That's all uniform to kind of the show, the 2012 series. They're all different heights and stuff, so it works out pretty well. Overall, really great series. Really kind of impressed with Playmates on this one. They kind of outdid themselves compared to other figures in this series. Are they better than the 90s figures? Obviously not. However, it's a nice little throwback. It's a nice little nod to the previous generation. And I do like that they used the same figures from the series, characters rather, I should say. You know, they did the Frankenstein, they did the Dracula, they did the Mummy, and the Wolfman. So, again, overall, really cool set of figures. I think you guys should check them out. They're available now. And hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks.
All right, guys. So thanks everyone for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Personally, I'm not really enjoying my stay at my great uncle's mansion. It's kind of creepy. It was a bad night to have to sleep here. It's pouring rain outside. It's really drafty in here. I'm freezing. But that's besides the point. One night and then it's mine. No big deal. I can sell this thing. But yeah, I hope you guys like the Ninja Turtles set. Hope you guys like the music. Again, that's the Lillingtons. The album is called Stella, Sapiente. Brand new. Just came out on October 13th, 2017. Make sure you give us a like, give us a share with all your friends, subscribe so you can see all our future videos. Hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That was kind of weird. Yeah, you know what? I'm not dealing with noises like that. I gotta get out of here. I've seen enough horror movies to know what's gonna happen here. I'm out. This house isn't worth it. I gotta go. Toy Punks. Oh, wait.